You know, sometimes there's that one special car. That car that's just your car. No matter how long it's been since you actually owned it. And for me, well, you're looking at it. Now, this is actually the car that kicked off the JDM Classics channel all the way back in 2017. And when I ended that video, I said there'd be more to come. Now that was technically true, just not in the way I originally intended. So here we are driving my old 2006 Toyota Century V12. When I first posted the pickup video of this car, I also posted to Reddit, where the car mildly blew up. It got a whole bunch of questions, a whole bunch of comments, and it was through that Reddit post actually that Mr. Regular from Regular Car Reviews reached out and asked to make a video. I of course said yes, and he came to New Zealand to do this car and a whole bunch of others. And I really enjoyed making that video, and it's done really well. It's got almost 1 million views to this day, but it did sap away some of my motivation to make my own video on this car. And so I didn't, but I continued to own and enjoy this car for many years after that. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me introduce you to this incredible car. The Century is literally Toyota at its best. Above Lexus even. This is the top of the range. The Century was first introduced in 1967 to celebrate the 100th birthday of company founder Kiichiro Toyoda. Toyota literally threw everything at this car. It came with a few different iterations of an overhead valve V8, displacing about 3 to 4 litres over the first generation of the car's life. I've driven a later example of a first generation car, a VG40 with a 4-litre V8. And it's not fast by any means, but it's a really nice experience and just such a well put together car. There was some pretty amazing tech on these first generation cars as well. I've seen pictures floating around of huge CRT TVs, fridges, VCRs. It was 30 years before the car got a major overhaul with its second generation, the G50, starting in 1997. This is a G50 car, 2006 to be precise. Now the G50 didn't change much over its lifespan from 1997 to 2017, but there were minor updates here and there. One great update that this car has over an earlier 1997 car would be this 6-speed transmission, replacing the 4-speed that these originally came with. But of course, I haven't mentioned the best part about the second generation Century. The G50 was, and remains to this day, the only production car to ever come out of Japan with a V12 engine. Oh yes. I don't know if there's a better example of Toyota's uncompromising attitude towards the Century than that V12 engine. For a country like Japan, which is known for its tiny little economy cars and getting the most out of low displacement engines, to not only develop a big 5-litre V12 engine, but to only use it in one car. Insanity. The engine is the centerpiece of the car, which is kind of strange because for the most part, it's completely absent from the experience. V12s are famous for their smooth power delivery, and when they're muffled as well as this one is, their relative silence. But that's exactly why it's the centerpiece. It does such a good job of simply getting out of the car's way, ensuring nothing but a smooth, quiet, luxurious experience. It's almost electric, but let's not go there. The Century, of course, was never sold in anything more than a handful of units outside of Japan. It's firmly a Japanese domestic product for a very affluent domestic market. So then, how and why did I originally get my hands on this one? Well, frankly, I've always been fascinated by weird cars. And weird cars with weird engines especially interest me. For example, have you ever heard of a Nissan Skyline GTS4 Ortex sedan? It's bizarre. It was a 4-door, 4-wheel drive version of the R32 Skyline, which for some people will already be weird enough. But This one came from factory with a non-turbo version of the 2.6 litre RB26 found in Skyline GTR. Why? Who knows? But it's weird, it's super rare, and I love it. So naturally, when I was plumbing the depths of Wikipedia or whatever other car website I would come across as a teenager, I would inevitably come across Japan's only production V12. And then I saw the very weird car that engine was put in. This retro-styled luxury limousine with aluminium and wood and wool seats and TVs in it and mirrors on the fenders. And it was the ultimate unobtainium for me. A car that, as far as I could tell, simply didn't exist here in New Zealand. But I wanted it so badly. So a few years passed, and I remember watching the Mighty Car Mods video on how to import a car from Japan. And I thought to myself, well, how hard can that be? So I saved up a bit of money with my new grown-up job, and I got in touch with a New Zealand-based importer that promised to handle all of the auction and import process for me. I won't bore you with the details, but it took months to get a good car, let alone get it shipped over to New Zealand and registered for the road. It wasn't that the cars were expensive. Used Centuries back in 2016, 2017 weren't worth much on the Japanese market. I just had some very particular requirements. Obviously, I wanted a high-quality, well-looked-after car, but I also wanted the wool seats. I wanted the black paint. I wanted the curtains. I wanted a later car with the 6-speed transmission. I wanted the DVD player. Anyway, we finally won an auction for a car that met all of my requirements. And then after many more months of waiting for it to get shipped to New Zealand, I was finally able to go and pick up my car. You can see the first ever video on our channel as a quick taster of that experience. Fast forward many years later, and it was time to sell. And I'll get more into that in a bit, but crucially, the person I sold to, his name is Aaron, and he's now a good mate of mine. This has been amazing for me, in part because I've had many more opportunities to visit the Century as well. Because, and I want to make this very clear, I love this car more than any other car I've ever driven. So I guess to start off, let's talk about the engine. It's a 5-litre V12. It makes, classically, apparently, 276 horsepower. Where have I heard that number before? Look, in reality, I don't think this is one of these Japanese engines that makes way more than the quoted power figure and they were just abiding by the gentleman's agreement on paper only. It doesn't feel any stronger than that. What it does have is an oodle of torque and a super, super smooth power delivery, as I've already mentioned before. It's the perfect engine for this car. It's perfectly paired to the mission of this car, which is to get you down the road quietly, smoothly, with no drama, with no fuss, but with enough power to make that overtake that you need to make. Let's try kicking it down and giving it a quick boost forward. It's healthy. It's big, it's heavy, but that V12 moves it down the road. Can't complain. Now, for those of you that watched the regular car reviews video, you'll have seen that I'd actually removed a couple of the mufflers from the system of this car, and it made some pretty glorious V12 noises. Aaron has put the factory system back in. And frankly, he's right. It's the correct thing to do. But I do kind of miss that V12 noise. It might not have been appropriate for what this car is, but I bought it for the engine. I wanted to hear it. The gearbox does have a manual mode as well, and when you put it in there and drop it down the gears, I mean, it's not changing very fast, but it does at least get you there. And crucially, it holds the gear. I'm in second, still in second, I'm still in second. I'm not actually gonna redline the car because, well, it's not actually mine anymore and it's not really the right kind of car to be doing that in, but I can tell you that this will hit the limiter and it won't auto shift up. I've driven cars that tell you they're sports cars, high performance cars, where you put them in manual mode and if you get near the red line, they'll shift up for you. It's like, well, hang on, I put you in manual mode. I want to do the shifting. So that is one aspect of the Toyota Century that can claim to be sportier than a Golf R. Steering, well, it's vague. Let's not beat around the bush. It's not really meant to transfer all that much feel to you. It's meant to point in a direction and have the car follow. That's what it does. It's light, it's effortless, it's smooth, it's refined, but I wouldn't go autocrossing in it. And the suspension, I mean, this has got air suspension all around, which I can tell you firsthand is expensive and a pain when it fails, and they do fail, but it does such a good job of ironing out the bumps. I'm not going to say it's Rolls-Royce smooth because, well, simply I've never been in a Rolls-Royce, so how would I know? But it's definitely the most comfortable car I've ever driven, and I've driven quite a few cars. Now, does that smoothness translate to great limit handling? Of course it doesn't. This slightly windy road that we've been going up and down is about as off the beaten track as I would ever recommend taking it. That's sort of the way it drives, but what about the way it looks? Well, I happen to think this thing looks great. It simultaneously looks like nothing else on the road, but somehow everyone has a different opinion on what they think it looks like. I've had lots of people come up and say, is that a Cadillac? Is that a Buick? Is that this? Is that that? Part of that is that we're in New Zealand and Cadillacs and Buicks don't really exist, so people don't really know what they're supposed to look like. But everyone struggles to place it. It's this weird, old school yet slightly timeless design, but it's big and it's imposing and it's interesting. I love the fender mirrors. You can get these with regular door mirrors. What's the point? It's got chrome fender mirrors. It's ridiculous. This is the one to have. I'm not going to take any arguments on that. But one noteworthy thing about the exterior, there's not a single Toyota badge on it. It's got the Phoenix, the Ho-Oh. That's the symbol of this car, and you'll see that everywhere. And you'll see Century badging, but unless you're really looking, you will be hard-pressed to find the word Toyota anywhere. There's one on the CD player. But yes, how about this interior? Well, it's interesting in that I don't think it photographs very well. When I first saw pictures of the car, it didn't come across like something that would ever compete with, frankly, even some of the higher-end Lexus cars. But when you're actually sitting in here, there's just a quality, a reassuring solidity to everything. It's not the highest quality materials possible. There are still plenty of plastics around. But where something looks like metal, it is metal. Where something looks like wood, it is wood. There's only a little bit of leather in this one on some of the center components because for the most part, this was optioned as a car with wool because wool is considered more luxurious. It doesn't get sticky in the heat. It's softer, it's more absorbent. I think they're right. It's a nicer place to be. In pictures, it just looks like a regular cloth interior, but sit inside this and you'll agree, it's so much more than that. It is a step above. There's even wool on the door. But here in the back, this is where you really want to be. Back here, I've just got so much more control. And this incredible center armrest, I can move the front passenger seat back and forth. I can move my seat back and forth. I can recline out. I can turn the cooled seats on. I can turn the heated seats on. I can turn the massager on. It's not so much a massage as it is a slow vibration at the very base of my back, but it's quite nice. In here, I've got controls for the climate control and the radio and the CD player. And of course, in this center stack here, I've got a DVD player. But of course, the classic feature of the Century is that the center of the passenger seat folds down into a leg rest. Come on, come on. Oh, this is very nice. It's been a long time since I've been driven around in this car. I might not do the rest of the video. I might just stay back here. This is great. I suppose that's enough procrastinating. Time to get back in the front seat. I said before that sometimes there's a car that really does just feel like your car. For me, I've owned a lot of cars, and there are things I love about pretty much every single one of them. But there are only 2 cars I've owned to this day that really do just feel like my cars, like they're an extension of myself. My first car, a 1990 Toyota Corolla AE92 GTI 16, and this. So why did I sell it then? Well, there were some practical reasons. We were moving house at the time, and the Century simply wouldn't have fit in the single allocated car park that we got. There's more to it than that. I feel like there are a few different types of car owners. First off, there's the everyday car owner, people that really couldn't care less about what car they're driving, and they're a bit of a wild card. And then there are the people that love cars and hold on to one for a very long time. Now, these people are usually the experts in a community. I've got utmost respect for these people, and they're what make so many parts of the car community great. They bring their depth of knowledge. So if they're the people that want to experience the depth of a particular section of cars, then there are those that want to experience the breadth. They never necessarily get that deep into any one particular area, but they want to collect, they want to try a whole bunch of different things. I'm very much in that camp. No matter how much I love a car, I can't see myself owning one for more than a few years at a time. It's just not who I am. I want to experience lots of different things. I want to keep trying new cars and building my worldview, I suppose. And I guess there are 2 ways you can do this. There's one, you just collect cars. You never sell a car, and you just grow and grow and grow your fleet, your empire of cars. And there are plenty of people in the YouTube automotive space especially who do just that. And they build museums and they build fleets. Well, I don't have the money for that. And at the very least, if I did decide to do that, it would seriously limit whatever car I could get next. So what I and many others have to do is have a car for a while, experience it, love it, cherish it, do as much as you can with it. And then when the time is right, you sell it, you free some money up, and that goes towards having the next experience, a new experience. Selling this allowed me to experience a whole bunch of really cool different cars. I got the Suzuki Jimny, the GI Yaris. It even paved the way to me eventually getting the Lexus LC500 that I recently made a video on. But this car opened up a whole world of opportunities to me. I got to do that video with regular car reviews and meet the whole team there. Doug DeMuro got in touch to ask to do a video on this. We couldn't make the timing work, and he did a different car later on. I made a friend in Japan who reached out after watching the video, and he ended up showing me around Tokyo. Countless connections, all because of this wonderful machine. How could I not have a soft spot for it? God, it's a good car. It's my favorite car. It's my favorite thing ever. The YouTube sphere has changed a bit since I bought this. Following this car's appearance on regular car reviews, many of the other big names have made videos on the Toyota Century. I might not have anything new or exciting to say about this car, but I love it. And I hope my silly little video helps to give you a little bit of extra appreciation for it too. Thanks for watching.